Ooh, what's up guys? JohnOrigins here. Today got a Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle in the OU tier today against the one and only HydreigonMaster635 Cody. Oh, this man, such an amazing player. I always get scared when I battle Cody, especially in the OU tier, because he brings top tier stuff. he likes to bring the most powerful of Pokemon to his battles, and I've got a team here today based around Mega Charizard X, a bulky variant, Dragon Dance still, and also a Carmine Clefable. I really love them two sets. Easily become my favorite two sets in the OU tier. They are amazing. I do like this team quite a lot. Looking at his team, major threat's going to be like Greninja, obviously, because he can hit all my team potentially for super effective or neutral damage. And also his Metagross, once it Mega Evolves, it's faster than most of my team. But I do have a Scarf Caldio, which should be able to deal with it. And I also have Landorus, who's physically defensive. So I should be able to take a hit coming from that. My team is... I made this team for the Greninja Suspect test, so... I've been using that to ladder up on Showdown. So I've used it quite a bit. I'm quite familiar with it. And I do like it a lot, so... that's always handy. But anyway, leading off, he leads up with his Rotom Wash. I lead off with my Charizard, and Rotom Wash is a free Mega Evolution for Charizard X because I only take 40% from Hydro Pump or around that. I can't get burned, and Volt Switch will be resisted hit now, so that really works out in my favor. I'm able to get a solid 40-35% off to this Rotom Wash. They're weakening a bit, so it's easy to take on later on in the game because I don't think I have any super effective hits to hit this Rotom, which not fun at all. But I went for the Rooster. I expected him to just hard switch out, not want to take too much damage with his Rotom, but he ends up going for the Volt Switch, makes a good play, maybe predicting the Roost. But my Charizard is still at a really good range of HP, to the fact where I can keep it around for a very long time. He gets a free switch into this Landorus tier. Now obviously, as a Charizard X on the ground, I might be weak to the ground type attack. So I'm going to switch out into my own Landorus T, and I'm a physically defensive variant. I have like a bit of special defense investment, so I can take a HP Ice from Manectric better. I think it's like 8, so I can take it a little bit, but not too much. And here I'm going to go for the knockoff, expecting him to switch out. I catch the Rotom on the switch, do a really good chunk of damage, get rid of its leftovers recovery, and then I'm going to use 10 out quite safely into my Latios, either expecting the Hydro Pump or the Will-O-Wisp, because Latios can eat either of them up. And then following that, can knock out this Rotom with a Psyshock. I could have gone for the Draco Meteor, but I figured there's no reason for me to do that to get the drops, because this Latios is quite the threat to his team. So obviously I'm not going to risk losing it or risk it not doing enough damage to his team. As he ends up bringing in his Metagross. And Metagross is usually quite a good switch into to Latios, and Cody shows an example of where it is amazing to switch into Latios, because first of all he eats up this Psyshock, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta leave the field now, I can't really stay in here, I'm gonna switch out. But then this monster known as Mega Metagross is just gonna come in and trap me like a boss. He's gonna hurdle his forearms towards my Latios like, ugh, and I'm gonna get swamped with damage. I die. Latios is gone. That huge threat that I can just drop Dracos left, right, and center is gone. But I do get a free switch into my Landorus T. Obviously, Mega Metagross does not want to stay in here to take an Earthquake, so I'm going to predict that obviously go for the Stealth Rock, just to get some residuals on his team as they switch in and out. He brings in this Landorus, which I'm honestly not too scared about. Because Landorus can't really do much to Landorus unless they're carrying the HP Ice, and that's not very common anymore. So what I can do here is just go for the safe U-turn. If he wanted to go for his own U-turn, I think he's just Choice Scarf set, so he can't really get the initiative. I get the advantage, and it's confirmed that he's Choice Scarf by the fact that he has no item here, like proves it to me. And what this does, it gives me a free switch into my own Choice Scarf and my Choice Scarf Caldio. And now I'm going to go for the Scald, hoping to get a burn on the incoming Latias. Unfortunately, I do not get a burn on this Latias. I end up getting a critical hit, but I would rather have the residual damage on this Pokemon. But, oh well, I'll take the crit, I suppose. Doesn't do all too much to me. And now I have to directly switch out. I'm going to go into my Ferroform, because obviously it's the best thing to take on this Latias. You can take Dracos, you can take Psyshocks, and then following that, following this, I think I'm gonna go for my Leech team. Now, Ferroform is a very good Pokemon. It's done so much work for me on Showdown when I've been laddering up with this team. Obviously, Heat Run is a problem to it, but as long as I can get recovery and start weakening his team, I should be alright. And Ferrothorn's the perfect Pokemon to do that. Such an all-round good mon. But Heat Run is here now, and I don't want to stay in here. I am not looking forward to taking the Lava Plume coming from a Heat Run. Now, this really looks like a free opportunity for him to get up Stealth Rocks, which I'm not a fan of at all, because I do have that Charizard who will be weakened 25% by Rock's entry. But I'm going to switch directly out into that just to avoid that initial turn of Stealth Rocks damage. And I also have the Earthquake, which can hit this Heat Ramp for super effective damage, 4 times super effective damage, and should be able to take him out. Now here I actually predicted him to expect this Earthquake. Like most, if not all Charizards carry it. Only some bulky variants tend to carry Flare Blitz over it, but Earthquake is, I think, is the more common one. So I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw, predicting he switch out maybe into his Latias. But he ends up going straight for the Roar, which was his, I think it's the safest play, just because he cannot afford for my Charizard to set up. Even if he does have a Landorus T, I think I have enough speed investment. No, I am not at all. I don't have much speed investment at all. He rules me out to the worst possible Pokemon, aka Clefable, and here I'm switching out. I can't stay in here, and I end up going out into my Landorus T. I cannot remember my reasoning for going out into Landorus T, but it worked out really well. Because he goes into his Metagross, and here I am, Landorus T, living it up. I get the Intimidate, and I'm like, I'm sitting pretty right here. I got a really advantageous switch, and now what I can do expecting the switch out, I believe I go for the U-turn. No, on this one I go straight for the Earthquake, expecting him to expect me to U-turn, but it doesn't really matter because he was just sacking off his Rodent Minion on the following turn. I can outspeed, knock him out of the U-turn, so that's fine. But I'm not sure what I predicted, but it worked out. I love it when it works out like that. When I make a switch, I have no idea why, and it's just perfect, absolutely brilliant. But on the U-turn, I'm going to go into my fastest Pokemon, which is my Choice Scarf Keldeo, and I should be able to do a lot of damage. The only thing that I won't do damage to is his Latias, but I have multiple switch-ins for this. I have my Clefable, and I also have my Ferrothorn. I believe I'm going into Clefable this time because I expected the Draco Meteor to come through, but he ends up going straight for the safe Side Shock. I can take this pretty well. I have a lot of physical defense investment. I'm a calm nature, so I'm boosting my special defense, but defensively I think I have about 160 EVs in defense, which is not bad at all. I'm able to eat it up. I only take around 45% from that attack. Then with leftovers off, this is about 39. And then as he brings out this Metagross, I'm actually going to play it safe this turn. I believe I'm going to go for the Moonblast, which doesn't do too much to this Metagross, but you know, it's weakening it a bit. Metagross is a huge problem because I did some calcs because I'm expecting to kill this Metagross with Keldeo. Because Scald only does about 40%, 45%, and Hydro Pump, I really hate risking Hydro Pump. It'll do about 55, 65%, so I need to weaken it a bit more just to do stuff. And here I suck my Clefable on the off chance that he over-predicted. And also he has a Heat Ran Metagross. I really cannot do anything with Clefable. And also his Greninja most likely has Gunk Shot, so I'm useless in that department. And this enables me to get a free switch into my Landorus T. And my Landorus T is at a really low range of HP, so I really couldn't switch in on Metagross either way. But here I am going to go for the knockoff, expecting his Landorus T to come in, which really works out in my favor because I'm able to get rid of this thing's Choice Scarf, which really helps me going into late game, especially when you think that if I get up a Dragon Dance with my Charizard, I'll be able to outspeed this Landorus as well, which is kind of what I want. As what I can do now is just go for the U-turn, as unfortunately he missed the Stone Edge, which doesn't come into play too much, I don't think, coming to the end of the game. But I get a free switch in my Keldeo here. I'm going to go for the safe Scald. I'm hoping it should be able to knock out the Landorus from that range of HP, which it does. And if he wanted to switch in his Latias, I think that 2-hit KOs, because it's looking about 45%. And also the Metagross are definitely 2-hit KO here. But he does get a free switch into the veteran Greninja, this monster, this horrible being that needs to be removed from the OU tiers fabrics. Oh my god, get out, son. But I do have a averagely good switch in, which is my Ferrothorn, which is able to eat up that Gunk Shot like a champ. And what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to go for the Gyro Ball as he goes for the Dart Pulse. He stayed in like a risky bugger, and unfortunately for me, he gets the flinch, meaning that I can't get off this huge damage with the Gyro Ball. It might not have killed, but it would have done a lot. Like maybe put me into Stealth Rock's range or Lightfall plus Stealth Rock range. But now he gets a free switch into his Heatran, so I'm going to go for the safe Gyro Ball. I expected him to stay in again, risk it for the biscuit, but he didn't do that. He just made the safe switch into his Heatran. This Heatran is actually being a massive pain to me, because I'm not going for Earthquake enough on it with Charizard. I constantly go for Dragon Claw with it. But I go for the Leech Seed. I actually predicted the roll, which is like, yo, I'm a master. I'm an absolute master. So I'm able to get the Leech Seed off, and as I get brought into my Charizard, it potentially gives me this Leech Seed recovery, which is good, especially on the Stealth Rocks, meaning that I only take 13% from the entry, which, you know, is basically normal Stealth Rocks entry, minus 1%, so that's really good for me. And I thought after this Leech Seed, I at least put him into Dark Pulse range, so now I don't have to predict around Earthquake. But he lives, he told me he lived on 1 HP, which was so annoying. I wanted to get rid of that Heatran. I didn't go for the Earthquake because he still has the Latias in the back, and he could have predicted that. But he takes me in the best possible thing, really, which is Keldeo, my Choice Scarfer. But at the same time, he went down to Leech Seed anyway, so that's always good for me. So now my Keldeo is in, fastest thing on the field, and I should be able to almost take out everything on his team. I think his Latias is still in range of Icy Wind, like of living it, so that's annoying. And then this Metagross is still in range of Scald, and like I said before, do not want to risk the Hydro Pump missing, so I'm going to switch out here into my Ferrothorn, and I'm hoping he goes for either the Zen Headbutt or the Meteor Mash, meaning that I can get Iron Barb damage on this Metagross, put him in range of that my Keldeo's Scald, which I think that put him in range, which is nice. And here I'm actually going to go for the Spikes on the off chance that I live this Earthquake, which I do. So I'm able to get the Spikes, meaning that if this Metagross does switch out and back in, it'll be taking Spikes and Stealth Rocks entry, which makes it a lot easier to take out for me. Now I lose my Ferrothorn, and I think I'm down to my final 2, Landorus T and Charizard. And there is a way for me to win. All I have to do now is bring in my Landorus T, sack it, and get the -1 on this Metagross, so that my Charizard, because it's a bulky variant of Charizard, can live an attack coming from this Metagross and set up a Dragon Dance. Now, luckily for me, he doesn't get the +1 boost with his Metagross, and I can bring in Charizard here, take the small 25% entry hazard damage from Stealth Rock, and then go for the Dragon Dance. Go for the Earthquake. This should only do about 55%. Bit less than that maybe. I'm able to take it, go for the Dragon Dance because he didn't get a crit, and at that -1 I could definitely live an attack and get up +1 speed, +1 attack. Now I'm at a range where I outspeed his entire team, and because of the Stealth Rocks and the Spikes and the range of HP that all of his guys are at, I'm able to get a late game sweep here with my Charizard. I think I destroy the Metagross, the Greninja, and the Latias to finish off the game with, I think it was a 1-0 victory in my favor. So that was a really close game, a really enjoyable game, I think, and I had a lot of fun playing it. It's always fun to play Cody, always tense as well, because he brings monster squads, unfortunately for us. But anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe. I've been JohnOrigins, and with that final kill, I am out, so peace.